Okay. So yeah. So we'll implement this as a what I have written here is as a structure. The structure contains two variables, struct term, two integer values, and coefficient and an exponent. Int coefficient, and for the sake of simplicity, we'll take it as integer. Both the values as integer. You can change it to your own, like this can be float, double, or any values. So we'll define a term as, a term means this entry, this as an integer, two integer values, one for representing the coefficient, the other for representing the exponent. Then we'll represent, in our program, we'll write a polynomial as the total number of non-zero elements int n and a pointer to a term. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to create a number of terms in the dynamic memory or in the heap part of the memory. Like this will be a term 1, this will be term 2, and so on. So a list of terms will be created in the heap memory, and I'll be giving a pointer to the first entry in. So this will be treated as an array of structures in the heap, and the struct poly will be containing the value which says how many terms are here and a pointer to the first term, right? This is how we create a polynomial. So this is the definition, and this is how you declare a variable, a polynomial p. Any questions? So this represents a term, this represents the structure of polynomial, and this is how you create a polynomial. Once you do it, what all things will be created? This will create a variable p in the stack part of the memory, which contains a variable n and a pointer to this, pointer to term. That's it. So this is how it will look like once you do it. This is my polynomial 3x raised to 5 plus 2x raised to 4 plus 5x squared plus 2x plus 7. So let's forget about this for the time being. Struct poly p, if I issue this command, it will be creating this. It will be creating a value, it will be creating a variable p. This is my p. P contains two parts, one for representing the number of non-zero entries, and this is a pointer to the array. So printf number of zero terms, non-zero terms. So number of non-zero terms, you read it as p dot n. It will be stored here. You give an input 5 here, so that 5 will be stored here. Now p dot t, t is a pointer. Into t you allocate memory. This is dynamic memory allocation, which we have seen in the previous video. So struct term star, this is typecasting. And how much memory should be allocated? Number of elements into struct size of term. Size of a term is this, 2 plus 2, 4 bytes. So this contains 4 bytes. 4 into, I have given 5, so 4 into 5, 20 bytes. So 20 bytes memory will be allocated. If you are assuming that integer takes 2 bytes, 2 plus 2, 4 bytes, then you allocate 5 into 4, 20 bytes. Then you can read polynomial terms one by one. This is accessed as ampersand p dot t of I dot coefficient, and this is ampersand p dot t I dot exponent. So this is p dot t of I means this is value 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3, and this is index 4. So when I is equal to 0, you read these two values. When I equal to 1, you read these two values and you insert correctly. That's it. So it will be accessed as ampersand p dot t. You reach here dot I. It's a pointer. So this is an array. Pointer means that you reach here. dot coefficient means you have two values. This is a structure, you have two values, this is coefficient and this is exponent. Any questions? So this is how you create a polynomial in a computer. Okay, so as I've told, we are going to use two structures, one for representing a term, the other for representing the polynomial itself. The structure, sorry, the term is representing, the term is for storing each term. So our polynomial is a collection of terms. So what we do is we create a collection of terms and the total number of non-zero entries, or the number of terms in your polynomial. So first you read the number of terms, then you allocate that much amount of memory, dynamic memory allocation, you allocate p dot t. T will be allocated with this much amount of memory. Now p dot t is having an array, this much memory, right? So now you can access each of the elements one by one and you enter element. Any questions? Now let's look at the evaluation of polynomials. Struct poly p. Let's say evaluation means nothing. You have already a polynomial stored in your system like this. So this is your p, polynomial p. Let's say this is your variable t pointed to this. Now this much memory was allocated and this polynomial was inserted in your system, in your computer. Now you would like to say, if my x value is this, if x is equal to 5, what is the value, or how you once you evaluate this polynomial, you will get some values. And then, so if x is equal to 5, what is the result of this? What if this is equal to some value? Then 3x raised to 5 plus 2x raised to 4 plus etc. This will be some value. You would like to find out that value. So initialize sum as 0. You initialize sum as 0. Then you say p dot ti dot coefficient. P dot ti dot coefficient. So initially I will be 0. So you'll get this into x raised to 5. You need to find out. So power of x. Then p dot t dot exponent. So it is nothing but x raised to 5 or 5 raised to 5. Sum plus equal to, so you continue this loop, you take the next coefficient into x raised to 4, next coefficient into x raised to 2, next coefficient into x raised to 1. You return that value, you write all these things in a function and return this value, means it is the evaluation itself, or it is equal to some value. Nothing. You have already this polynomial, you have this polynomial in your system already stored in your computer. Now you would like to evaluate it for some x is equal to y. Now you change the value of x is equal to 6, then sorry, x is equal to 6, then you can say that it is equal to coefficient into coefficient into x raised to the corresponding exponent, etc., etc. You will get another evaluation. Now you return this from your function, then it will be the evaluation result. So far we have seen how to represent a polynomial in your computer and how to evaluate this polynomial if the value of x is known. Any questions? Now let's think about polynomial addition. So let's say you have two polynomials. P1 is this and P2 is this, and both are represented in your computer. So this is P1. P1 is having three terms, three non-zero terms. 5x raised to 4 plus 2x square plus 5x raised to 0. P2 is having 5 terms, 6x raised to 4 plus 5x cube plus 9x square plus 2x plus 3. The sum of these two polynomials, that is what we would like to find out. We would like to find out how many values are there here, or how many non-zero entries are there here, and you need to find out corresponding coefficient exponent, and coefficient exponent, and we don't know how many are there, like maximum how many terms can be there in this list. a maximum of this plus this, isn't it? It can contain a maximum of 3 plus 5, 8. So it can contain a maximum of 8, terms in the resultant polynomial. So P1 plus P2 is, P3 is written as P1 plus P2. So P1 plus P2 can contain a maximum of 8 terms. So I have just shown the code snippet for adding these two polynomials. So let's say you initialize a variable I here, you initialize a variable j here for the second polynomial, and you initialize a variable k for the third polynomial. So I represents first polynomial, j for second, and k for the sum or the resultant polynomial. Now you initialize all this as 0, so I will be pointing to the first value, j will be pointing to the first value, and k also will be pointing to the first value. Then if I is less than p1 dot n and j is less than p2 dot n, this is p1 dot n and this is p2 dot n. So I is going to change from value from 0 to this value. J is going to change from values from 0 to, it's a looping statement with both these values I and j, I less than p1 and j less than p2. If p1 dot t dot I dot exponent is greater than p2 dot t dot j dot exponent, so this is the first exponent and this is the corresponding j exponent. If these two are compared, this is the first comparison. Here it is 4 and here also it is 4, right? Let's assume that this was 5. Then what will happen? P1 dot t dot I dot exponent is greater than P2 dot t. So this condition was true. Then P3 dot t dot k plus plus equal to P1 dot t dot I plus plus. Means this entry is directly copied here. 5 comma 5. P1 will be copied, I will be incremented, I plus plus, and k also will be incremented. So I will be pointing to the next entry and k also will be pointing to the next entry. So that's how it moves. So if P1's exponent is greater, then copy P1. Else, if P2's exponent is greater, P2 dot t dot j is greater than P1 dot ti dot exponent, then copy P2. Or this is written as P3 t dot. In this second case, it will come like the exponent is 2 here, the exponent is 4 here. So P2 dot t dot exponent is greater. So you'll copy this 6 comma 4. What about if these two exponents are equal? Like let's say j has reached this point. So this is 2 2 and this is 9 2. Then both the exponents are equal. So this condition is false and this condition is false. Then it comes to this condition. Then p3 dot t dot k dot exponent is same. So this is exponent. Exponent is written here 2. Now what should be the value here? The value should be the sum of these two. 2 plus 9. It should be 11. That's it. So it's very simple. It's a very simple algorithm. You initialize three variables I, j, and k as an index to P1 first polynomial, an index to second P2 the second polynomial, index to third polynomial, and using these indexes, you find out check these conditions whether the exponents are equal, exponents are greater, exponents are the other exponent is greater. That's it. So if the first polynomial's exponent is greater, copy that term and move only that index. If the second exponents were greater, then copy that and move only that index. Always you move the third. Once you copy the third polynomial should be moved. Then if the is exponents are equal, means that you copy any one's exponent, like p1 dot t dot ti dot exponent. It can be p2 dot tj dot exponent, because both are same, both are equal. It can be same. So you copy that exponent, and instead of copying the content, you copy the sum. Here you are copying the structure completely. The p3 dot tk plus plus, the entire structure was assigned to this structure. Here you are copying exponent and coefficient separately. Any questions? Now I'll show you how to write a program for doing this. So yesterday somebody was asking about how to write a program, sorry, how to use GCC in Windows. So let me show you that. So in Windows, you search for I think you can see my screen, isn't it? Are you able to see this screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you search for MinGW download for Windows. And use this link for downloading it. Once you download it, you can install MinGW, minimalist GNU for Windows. Once you installed it, sorry. Once you install it, you will see a minimalist GNU for Windows package like this. From here, you go for go for all packages, select all packages, and search for MinGW GCC. This package, yeah, these two, MinGW GCC. By default, this will not be installed. You select this, and here you give apply changes, then it will be installed. Once you install that, you go and set it in the path, advanced system settings, then environment variables, take path, edit. Then you add a new entry here, C colon min GW slash bin. Once you add that, now you will be able to use GCC command in your command prompt. See, here it is showing GCC fatal error, no input files. GCC is available. Or you can use I am using this for writing my code. Visual Studio Code. You can use this IDE. Are you able to see this IDE, Visual Studio Code now?
Yes, sir.
So if you have Visual Studio Code installed from extension, you go for extension, and in that you install Code Runner one, then C, C++, this one, C, C++ debugging. These two extensions you install. Once you install that, then you can write your C program here, and you just press this, run this code, and then your program will be executed. Here you should get the output. Sorry, I'll restart this Visual Studio Code. See, this is how you should get the output. In this IDE, you write your program. You just this is code runners environment. You just press run code, then you will get the output. I'll quickly show you the implementation of. I think I have time. Yeah, I have some more time. So I the implementation of polynomial. stdlib.h for using our dynamic memory allocation libraries. This is for using mathematical things. Now I'll write this term, struct term. The entries required was int coefficient and int exponent. So this was now I'll create the second structure, struct poly int n, which was our number of positive terms. Then what else? A struct term star t terms. Okay, let's say that this is an array and this is all the terms. Okay, so this is the number of elements, number of non-zero entries, and this refers to terms or the terms array. Now let's write a function for creating. First we'll write the main function int main return 0. Let's see this works without any error. Yeah, done, exited with code 0. Okay, now we'll write a function for creating our polynomial, void create. To this we'll pass a polynomial struct poly star p, a pointer to this. we have I have shown this code in my slide. Printf, enter the number of terms of the positive terms. You read this scanf. What are the positive terms? Percentage D, then P dot N, right? The pointer. So we'll say P arrow N. I think you are familiar with this notation, isn't it? P arrow and P dot. Yes. I asked, are you familiar with this notation? P arrow N. Hello?
No, sir.
No?
No, no.
See, this is if this was written like this, struct poly P, then I could have used something like this, P dot N, right? Into this, I am passing a pointer to polynomial, this structure. Then I should use this, that is arrow operator, ampersand P arrow N. Let's for the time being, you take it as it is. Let's see. Now you create this array P arrow terms. You should allocate corresponding memory, isn't it? P arrow terms should be struct, sorry, term char. Term was capital, isn't it? Sorry. Struct terms char. How much memory need to be allocated? Malloc P arrow N multiplied by size of that many number of terms, isn't it? Struct term. Any questions? Sorry. Any questions? I enter terms. Oh, sorry. I'm more comfortable with Python. That's difficult. For I equal to 0, I less than P arrow N, I plus plus. How many terms need to be read? Scanf. You need to read two things, exponent and P arrow terms I dot coefficient P arrow terms I dot exponent, right? So I'm reading, first I'm reading number of elements in the polynomial, then you allocate that much amount of memory, then you read each terms one by one and you allot that coefficient and exponent to corresponding terms. That's it. We'll create a polynomial and we'll see whether it's working or not. So always you try your program like this. You create a part of your program and you see that it's working properly. Struct poly p1, then you say create ampersand p1, isn't it? P1, yeah. Let's see, we have, is there any issue? start. I'll write a function for display also. Display this display code is already running. That is the error it is showing. Code is already running. One second. Okay, I'll write this in my. There is some issue with my Visual Studio Code. I'll write here. Okay, I'll save as. Errors. At 41.1, this error is expected. Okay, 41. Oh, sorry. You will get an a.exe file. In that, you type the number of terms, 3. Enter the terms 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 3. So that's it. It is reading only how many terms? I equal to 0, I less than p point n. Once again, a dot exe 3. It's reading only 2 terms. One is not taken. Okay. Now we'll write another function for displaying it. Void display. Then it will be clear. Struct poly p int I for I equal to 0, I less than p dot n. In this case, we can write p dot n I plus plus. Then you write here printf percentage d text percentage d p dot terms I dot coefficient comma p dot term I dot exponent. Display p1. A dot exe. Enter the number of terms 3, 1, comma 2, 1, comma 2. Oh, it is not reading to something else. One second, let me check and come to you. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Here we have written a structure for each term, then a structure for polynomial, then created this. What I was missing is I was missing some pointer here. Now we'll create a polynomial and display it. That's it. Okay. GCC a dot c compiled. If there is any error, it will show here. Then you execute it as a.exe. Enter the number of terms 3. 3 x raised to 4 plus 2 x raised to 3 plus 1 x raised to 1. So it is showing here 3x raised to 4 plus 2x raised to 3 plus 1x raised to 1. So that's all for today. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you.